Chances are the Monaco Grand Prix is near the top of every enthusiast's bucket list. And it should be. It's a tough race. Everything has to fall into place the whole weekend. And it is exotic. Monaco is the second smallest country in the world, after the Vatican. It has real estate prices as high as the apartment houses are tall, and the lowest poverty rate in the world. And it is exclusive. Grandstand seats can be a bit pricey, but if you want to stay on a yacht, have a cabin on a yacht in the harbor, it can run about $10,000. If you want to stay here at the Fairmont, it can run $15,000 to $18,000 for the weekend. Double occupancy. But the advantage is you won't have to buy a ticket because you can watch the race from their deck. The winner of the Monaco Grand Prix 100 years ago, 1914, was nobody. The race wouldn't start until 1929. However, the Monte Carlo car rally had started in 1911 and inspired an air rally in 1914 that concluded here in Monaco. The winner, Frenchman Roland Garros, famous French aviator whose name is now on the stadium hosting the French Tennis Open in Paris. Well, here's the Tip Top in Monaco. It's been here since 1938. It was quite the driver's hangout if you go back to like Graham Hill and Jimmy Clark. I'm not so sure it's as fashionable these days. But up here is Casino Square, and you go down the hill towards Mirabeau and the Hairpin. And above it used to be a restaurant that was really a good spot to view the race. But it's under construction. Well, here's one of the fashionable nightclubs in Monaco, Jimmy's. It's just below the casino. Place to see and be seen. They don't let me in. I'm not that hip. People have been living on this edge of the Mediterranean for a long, long time. Since the 1300s, for the most part, the Grimaldi family has ruled Monaco. In the mid-1800s, two nearby cities seceded, taking with them some very profitable olive oil business, leaving Monaco on the brink of bankruptcy. Princess Caroline at the time decided to open up a casino, modeled on the one in Bad Homburg, just north of Frankfurt, one of the first casinos in Europe. But the early years were not successful. It was tough to get here. The roads from Nice were difficult. She finally persuaded Francois Blanc, who owned Bad Homburg, to come to Monaco. She said it would be good for his wife's health. Blanc had been very successful. He loaned money to complete the Paris Opera House. So he brought in Charles Garnier, who designed the Opera House, to design the casino. By then, things were different. The railroads were opening up France, tourism was picking up and coming to the Mediterranean. Now originally this area was called Les Spilules, but Blanc, being the smart businessman, changed the name to reflect his patron, Prince Charles, the son of Princess Caroline. So it was Mount Charles, or Monte Carlo. Good move, because Les Spilug, translated, means den of thieves. The movie Grand Prix opens with the first race here at Monaco. And at the time, in 1966, it was the first of 9 races in the Formula One season. Today, there are 19. We are at Tobacco Corner, named for the little tobacco shop that's over here, that's still over here. Now, if you remember in Grand Prix, the cars come down through here, and one ends up in the harbor. Well, that's actually happened twice, in 1965 and in 1956 with Ascari, Formula One's first world champion.
passato, dietro di lui adesso c'è Hamilton, 717 Fiat 121.
Und Hamilton bleibt bei einer Bestzeit von
off at 48, just the front nudging the barrier. I don't think it's
Monaco is the Formula One experience. Of course, it helps to have the Cannes Film Festival with all of its glamour and glitz run about the same time down the road. But lately, the Formula One is beginning to lose some of its sizzle, at least to me. This year, to be politically correct, they've developed new engines, new cars, new rules that I don't think are pleasing anybody except Mercedes-Benz. They've won every race, and it's speculated that they could win every race this season. But this is not the first time that one team has dominated Formula One. Right now it's Mercedes-Benz. Last year it was Red Bull. Before that it was Ferrari. Before that it was McLaren. In 1988, the McLaren Honda won 15 out of 16 races. And then a little bit Williams, and then Lotus. And they're disappointed at the sound of the engine, so they've been testing trumpets, which is silly. They should have known and designed it right in the first place. No, the engines do not have that dental whine that physically hurts you. It's more of a rumble. And it costs so much money to promote a Formula One race. Typical going price is $30 million. Monaco and a couple of other tracks have a special deal. But the company that owns Formula One has a sizable debt, and they need money from wherever they can get it. Now, no offense to Abu Dhabi, it's a terrific race, but they paid $45 million to promote that race. Now, largely with the motivation to try to help tourism. Well, it certainly helped Monaco, that's for sure. And what about the TV? The tracks look the same all the time. The TV audience, I think, is dwindling a little bit despite these sizable ratings that you hear, as well as the audience that shows up for the races. That's how the tracks make their money. But it is the European audience time zone that all of the tracks, all the races are geared to. That's why you're seeing twilight races and night races. However, Formula One will be changing. Bernie Ecclestone, F1 Supremo, who's made billions and really made Formula One what it is today, is 83 years old. He's either going to go to heaven or go to jail, given his current legal problems. Or he could pay a sizable fine. Without a doubt, though, his influence is going to diminish. Now, as cynical as I sound about Formula One, it is great to be here. It's terrific. And there's a lot of benefit to Formula One in terms of technology. You first saw engine management systems in F1. In terms of exotic materials, early on, use of carbon fiber. And the quick turnaround R&D processes that Formula One has are being studied by NASA. But if you take away Monaco and Ferrari, Formula One ends up being like watching golf on TV.